Good afternoon. I feel like I'm over this way a lot more than I normally am. I think I was slouching a lot today. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty well. See, I just went right back into my groove here. So what are we going to work on? I just pushed out Alpha 15. And I gotta say, I think I'm done adding big changes to the alpha. Now it's just about the feedback. Let's nail it down. And I will do my best to not add any new features and stuff. I'll do my best. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I am kind of random too. It's Friday. My God, it's Friday. This week for work, man. Feel drowsy. But it's done. Donezo. Alright, where am I? Oh yeah, I was kind of building in this world. So a lot of new features in Alpha 15. I guess, you know what? I guess I could run through them because I don't really have much to do right now. There's one thing I could do. I don't know shaders well enough to fix it. So we'll see. We will see what becomes of that. Let me just pull up my list here. There we go. All right, so obviously the big thing here is the gateway system. Let's see if I can kind of have both of these up. There we go. So the first thing's obviously the gateway system. It's in its final form. This is probably going to need a little love. Hey, Fritz. But, I mean, you could set your keystones. The first bit of feedback I expect to get is maybe how the keystones feel. Right now, they're expensive to make, but you could reuse them. I like the idea of having it to where they're cheaper to make, and then once you write whatever it is on it, the keystone gets locked in. Now, I'll make a little program, a little system for you to be able to recycle keystones to get some materials back, but yeah, the keystones themselves are at least usable, ready to go. Another thing you probably noticed that I just walked through, the upper left-hand corner, is the effects list that pops up. So that was a debuff gateway exhaustion. Let's actually set it for the spawn coordinates. There we go. I can use the gateway again. Boom. There we go. Burst of particles. This is where I've been doing a lot of stuff here. Actually, over here is where I've been kind of living. Right, so as you cast buffs on yourself, or other people cast buffs on you, you will see your stats up there, your effects list now. So you got your flavor text there, you feel fortified against the element of earth and frost. Those kind of messages have all been kind of adjusted and fixed. A lot more spells will give you that kind of flavor text messaging as well when you cast them. All color coordination as well. I'm not using like the bright reds, the crimson that I was. Now I'm using the game's kind of color patterns, right? The weird reddish pink, kind of whitish that, you know, the text has and whatnot. Another thing that I fixed was I revamped the whole buffing system in general. Before, I don't think anyone ever noticed, and I kept it in because I wanted to see if anyone told me about it, if anyone figured it out. But you are able to stack buffs in the old version. Meaning, if you have agility 1, 2, and 3, you can cast all versions of those onto yourself and the effects accumulate. Same thing with the run speed. If you cast swiftness 1, 2, and 3 on yourself, it will take the collective of all of them. I have adjusted that. So the way the priority list up there works is that whatever has the least time is at the bottom, right? And it readjusts all of your buffs based on time. Now there's a system in place where if you have agility 1, let's say, and you have agility 2 cast on you, it will overwrite and remove the old buff and do a refresh on it. If someone tries to cast agility 1 back on you, it will fail and say a stronger version of the buff's already active. Same thing for 3, right? 3 would overwrite 2, and there you go. Which is definitely a great thing. The other big thing too is the Crucible. So I brought in a simple multi-block structure that a tier 1 mage can make called a Crucible. This is pretty neat. Right there it says able to craft tier 1 objects because it scales with your tier. It doesn't take any external source. It's kind of like a more efficient way of making some of the magical items. And it's also how you increase your magic tier. So basically like Arcanus. Arcanus is a big thing that people are going to have to make a lot of. There. Lower that a little bit. So if I pull out like Arcanus, for instance, and throw it in, now if I look at it, it has the recipe for it. And you can see the ingredients list. It's like small scale synthesis, pretty much. But you can see here, yeah, it wants an elemental crystal, rustic compound, and a shifting fiber. It's actually cheaper to make these things in here than it is to make them in the Thaumic Workbench, which you can still make them in the Thaumic Workbench. Thaumic Workbench has slightly different recipes, right? So basically, I enhanced this system as well. Before, I wasn't able to really handle wild cards, right? Like having multiple objects, like for instance, the small elemental crystals. There are 8 types of them. Before, everything was set statically. Like you could have, like I would have to have a recipe in for like just the fire or just the, and you probably noticed that in like the beginning stages of synthesis too, when you were making items through the Oculus. I have revamped that. So now I can actually get wild cards, use wild cards. So let's just pull up a bunch of fire crystals, and we also need rusty dust, boop, oops. We'll just get 16 of those, and then shifting fibers. Get rid of the staff. There we go, right? So basically, you could throw things in, and what you could do is like throw in a bunch of things at a time, right? Throwing a bunch there, and a bunch there. So, oh, it's looking for rustic compound. I gotta change that. It should be rusty dust. And see, because I had the other items in the well, it just instantly created it. So now, you see, I can mass produce all of these items here by throwing them in like that. So if I pick that up, yeah, I just made 11 of them, right? And you could do other things too, like you can undo it, you know, like just do what I did. See, now the fact that there are other gems, you can mass produce crystals in here too, right? But that's gonna take light ash, you know, the rustic. I gotta change that. That should be rusty dust. You know what? That'll be the first thing we change. Let's pull it up. Rusty dust. So the Crucible is pretty neat, and the Crucible is actually how you increase your magic tier. When you're ready to move to the next magic tier, you will create your Sigil of Awakening for like going from tier 1 to tier 2. You'll throw it in, and you'll notice that the portal changes, and it kind of tells you, right, magic tier upgrade. You'll basically go into it. Oh, there are a lot of items in there. You'll sit, go into meditation, and then the countdown timer will start. I have it all choreographed for you. Particles will spawn above you, and then bam, like it consumes that item in the well, and then you become a tier 2 mage. But then you got to get back out because you got rust sickness being in here. And my debuffs wore off. Yay! So that's that. Let's change the recipes here before I move on. Crucible tier 1. There we go. Yeah, rustic compound, totally meant to do rusty dust. Totally meant to do that. So I'll change it here. All right, change it here. Bam. I got to change it for the other things. I'm just going to continue on, though. So that is the Crucible system. So we got the gateways, we got the Crucible. The next thing, of course, is the fact that magic tiers are back in. Magic tiers right now block some of the like rituals and spells and everything. Like it's the same old system you're used to. But this time, there's going to be a little more balance put into it. And it's going to be a little more clear. If we go into... this, which I'll talk about in a moment, right? We can come into like the magic basics, and I actually explain magic tiers, what it is, what you start out as, how you go to another magic tier, right? Like all this information, it's all in here, right? But there was a sense of progression, right? Like effort achieved that was missing when I took magic tiers out. Right, because when you were a tier 2 mage, more things opened up, right? Like you felt like you worked hard, and now you are above, entry level, right? Same thing with Archmage. There's only 3 magic tiers now. So basically, you'll end up getting your magic experience is the only thing that's really gated here. That's the only thing that's checked. But I have 3 sources, right, for your maximum mana. Right, so I think right now the default is like 50 magic experience, right? 50 mana points from magic experience to level up to, or to be able to go to a tier 2 mage. But because the way the way experience works is that your mana pool, having your mana pool bigger, when you cast a spell, it's that mana consumed is the experience that you get. So I'm still rewarding you for going after armor, right? Because you'll have the armor bonuses, which increases your maximum mana pool, which also gives you some more mana regen for meditation, right? And that, like, bigger mana pool obviously means I can accumulate more experience than the other guy who is just trying to cast transmutation, spam, and meditate, right? The system for meditation insight, right? Discovering things through meditation, earning those maximum points, like you still get rewarded there. And by pursuing those, it will help you become an archmage a little faster, right? It gives you an edge. So I think the way the system is now, it kind of promotes you to explore, and not just burn out, empty your mana on transmutation. Because I want you to be casting spells. I want you to, like, be doing things. So yeah, that system was put in. I added the heads up, the effects list that we saw before, right? So you get a buff cast on you or something, buffs and debuffs, right? So pops up there. You can have it on that side, that's the default, the middle of the screen, or there are some servers that do not have the minimap, in which case I made a profile for being top right, where the minimap would go. So you can like mix and move things around a little bit. But like I said, the whole buff thing's been overhauled. Oh, I added Rift Bloom tea. It's a barrel recipe where you could put in seeds, Rift Bloom seeds, to brew tea. This tea is awesome. If you consume a hit of it, you gain a buff. You feel your body start recovering mana. This is a passive mana regeneration buff, which is pretty awesome, and it scales with your magic tiers. So I think right now, because I'm like, if you're tier 1 and you drink this, it lowers your hunger. It lowers your temporal stability by a shot. I think it's too low right now. I think I forgot to... I wanted to give it a 25% cut because of the amount of mana that you get back passively. By the time the 2-minute buff is over, you've pretty much recovered that temporal stability as long as you're in a normal area. But it heals you for a little bit. It gives you like half a hit point just by consuming it. So if you wanted to, you could chug this, but eventually you would kill your temporal stability and make it more dangerous for yourself. And the buff would not stack multiple times. You would just be resetting the counter on the passive mana accumulation. So let's change that as well, because I totally forgot to increase the temporal stability loss there. I had it at 10% before when it was just a quick little burst, but now it's a lot better. It gives you a lot more in its current form. So I need to scroll up to... Here we go. Mana recovery behaviors. Here we go. So temporal stability. I did want this to be 25%. And I gotta change it there. Fireball that in. Now I gotta change the... So it's good that I'm going through this stuff. It would have been 10%. Here it is. Minus 25%. All right, there we go. So that should be a bigger hit now. There we go. See, even 25% isn't that bad. It just like dips the gear, right? But yeah. So I ended up adding that. Non-mages can also drink this. They can also brew it. So it's something where if you're a non-mage in an RP server, you could have a Rift Bloom farm for, like, Rift Blooms are still going to be valuable to you. First of all, you could use this as, like, you won't get the mana regen buff, but you could sell it to a mage because it's going to be a really good drink for them. And also, it does give you straight up, like, if you have real food and you don't have bandages or anything, it does straight up heal you as you're chugging this down. Again, it's going to lower your temporal stability, so if you are in a safe place, then, you know, you could afford to kill off some of your temporal stability. There's just not a lot of good ways to, like, gain health. You know what I mean? Like, in the basic game, there's probably mods out there that bridge that gap, but this is just another one of those bridges. So Rift Bloom Tea, the guidebook. Guidebook is in its final form. There are more achievements. There are a lot more guides, like all the, you know, everything has been finally accounted for. You know, you got links kind of going into the handbook. The handbook's got a bunch of entries. I did another pass on that. I expanded some of the stuff here, right? I talk about Rift Bloom Tea and things you could do with it. You know, there's your barrel recipe. Like, I've covered a lot of bases in this update. The basic lore for, like, what magic is in my mod is finally in. I kind of break down the essences and everything for you, so it's kind of written here in a blurb if you care about that. You know, I talk about, like, the ancient artifacts, right? Talk about increasing, like, what the 3 ways to get more mana is. Like, there's a lot of work here. You know, everything's been expanded to have, like, the magic tiers in there. This is a very detailed guide now. Pet system, I did a lot of changes for them. A lot of little bug fixes to make their AI a lot better. Your pets now have health. So if you get the white pig's not really white, huh? You know, let's just get a dark brown chicken. Right? So I got my little chicken here. If my little chicken gets terminated here. Oh, the teleport saved his ass. Right there, my pet has been killed by a male, panda bear male. I could summon it again in 5 minutes. If something kills your pet, you gain a 5-minute debuff to where you cannot summon a pet again. Yep. And you'll see right there, like, no matter what you do, you can't summon it yet. So, you know, your pet is more of a responsibility now instead of, you know, I figured since I allow you to pet it, right? It's let's make it more of a responsibility, right? Like it's pets are things that non-mages can have too, right? So yeah, there's that, the guidebook. New things, like I made some stairs, you know, as you can see over here for the ashlar and the cobblestone blocks for all my variants. I've made stair blocks for them, and I basically did that for the look of the gateways here. Actually, this one's incomplete. If I do that, yep, portal starts spawning. Boop. But yeah, you know, some new blocks, the new armor sets. I'm wearing the rusty version right now of the you know, and this is, you can get from the transmog stuff. I think the boots came out looking really good, like really good. But this is like the rusty Jonas. I have like a temporal Jonas version. When I'm not developing new systems, I do want to keep adding armor sets. The next one I'm working on is the Necromancer set. I want a Druid set. You know, I want you to be able to like role play as the mage you want to be, right? And it's, you can, if you don't want the hat or anything, right? Like you can choose to, you don't have to have like the whole set. If you just like the boots or anything, you could transmog your mage, you know, you can mix and match is what I'm saying. You can mix and match. So Rift, the big change happened. Rift blooms, it's a new paradigm for them. Now, there was a problem before that came to my attention. Basically, because elemental creatures don't attack non-magic users, like kill on sight, they only react to attacks. What was happening is people in servers were giving all their flowers to the people who didn't have magic unlocked, and they would just go to a rift and put down copious amounts of flowers and get a ridiculous amount of resources. And no one was growing rift blooms. No one was using the things to make them grow faster. You know, like all that stuff wasn't happening. So now, you still put a plant down around a rift. It turns into an unstable rift bloom. And then when you harvest that with a knife, you get no other materials besides a chance of dropping a seed, right? And then from there, to actually get your rusty dust and stuff, you are going to have to... little floaty flying around there. You are going to have to actually grow them. I buff the rates a little bit. Before it was like a chance of dropping stuff with a knife. Like you will automatically get one rusty dust and one shifting fiber when harvesting with a knife. And I think it's like a 75% chance to have the seed get destroyed at that point. Because they're kind of easy to get right now. Till I figure that part out. But if you are a mage, transmutation puts less stress on the plant. So you can get, I think it's like 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 rusty dust and shifting fibers separately, right? So you could get up to 8 items. And I think it's like a 90% chance of getting a seed back, right? So you are more efficient if you catch transmutation. And if you have a better staff, you could do the greater transmutation, which affects a 5x5 area, right? So again, this is me trying to have people actually grow and have a rift bloom farm. And not only that, like I make sure to say in all the stuff that I have in here that rift blooms grow 4 times faster if there is a rift by them. They will actually change, right? And then you'll see the particles spawn. So something that, like, they normally take like 4 in-game days to fully mature when you plant them. Well, if you can crack open, like if it's apocalyptic or high activity, you could do a ritual to force spawn a rift in the middle of your field. I made the ritual to where it could be done between your rift blooms. and you could accelerate the growth of the material, like get your materials a lot faster. And of course, the higher tier magician you are, like the higher tier version of the ritual you do, the wider that area is. So you can have, like, I think the maximum is like a 16 by 16 huge rift portal, which is a ridiculous amount of rift blooms that you could affect. And not only that, I also put something out there to where, like, if I'm going to open up a rift and I'll show it off here. Because another thing was the fact that, here we go. Whoops, I'll just open 5 rifts here. Each rift will tick to try and change one of these plants. There we go, right? So this guy just spawned. That guy just spawned that one. Let me check the activity. So it's calm. These things are going to be going away in like 30 seconds. Yep, they're already receding. Perfect. So now, right, you got some rift blooms here. You see this one's pulsing now. That means that it's got like 5 or 10 seconds. I think it's 10 seconds until it reverts back, right? So you could just look to see it's not an instant thing anymore. Now this one's ticking too, and it will do it randomly, just as random as it is to actually affect the plants. Right, and that one goes back. This guy's still out for a little while. There we go. Now that one's starting to turn. Right, so again, more quality of life things that I put in for the magic mod. Yeah, pets have health. I fixed a long-term problem. So I never knew this, but apparently a lot of server owners, a lot of people that run the servers, shut off class-specific. It's a config option, like a global world config option, to shut off class-specific recipes, right? So the tailor making the sewing kits, and you know the maverick or malfactor making the sling and things like that, to where like anyone could make any recipe. Well, the way I was parsing out my recipes, I was piggybacking off of the grid recipes, which means that it ignored my keys, and you were able to craft all the magical items right from your inventory, right? Whether you were a mage or not, because it ignored. Oh, well, actually, that wasn't true, because everything was locked into. Actually, that was true. That was true. I have fixed that. I have since fixed that. So even if you have that setting to where anyone could craft any recipe, it's still going to lock it down to only a mage, and you will not be able to craft anything in your personal inventory. And depending on your magic tier, other recipes become available to you. So you can't be a tier 1 mage and make, you know, seraphic arcanus, right? So I fixed that. That was a long time problem. And I also fixed armor. You cannot. There used to be a way for you to like cheese it to where you could have like a mannequin out, and then you'd be able to put the armor on the mannequin, and then like not soulbind to it or have to be soulbound to it, and then you could like put it on and equip it right away to get the bonuses. Not anymore. If you try to do anything like that or put it in the like equip the armor and you're not soulbound to it, it will drop it. So I fixed that long time bug as well. And we got the ram and the ewe pets now. Where'd it go? There it is. So we got a lot of things. Got a lot of things, right? I could keep going. But there you go. You got the ewes and the rams. Like pull out the black ram. There you go. Little Mr. Fuzzy Nuts here. So, you know, a lot of stuff in Alpha 15. And again, I got more to do, right? Because I still have to adjust all the recipes. Let's pull up Riftbloom Tea. I need to change this as well. That's right. Oh, that's actually this right here. I just need to reload. Reload language. There it is. Bam. All right, so that has been fixed. Boop. Let's see. Oh, look at my little guy. I'm gonna go ahead and despawn you. Dismiss. Oh, this is another thing we can work on too. So, right? I do rust sickness. Now it's this color. You can see the debuff in the corner though, kind of refreshing there. Boop. All right, so I don't know why or how it's not rust colored anymore. The weird part is I don't know if I care that much about it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily look as bad, right? It's not as jarring. So I'm like on the fence about it. I'm on the fence about it. All right, so I do need to change a handful of other recipes here, unfortunately. Basically, I'm going to copy Rusty Dust. Because I got to open up all of these, right? Because it's not a rustic compound. It's a Rusty Dust. I think it's just faster if I just paste. Why is it saying Rusty Dusty Dust? What the fuck is this trying to do? Does it think that I'm just making up names for fun? What is this? A little skit scat kitty cat in there, you know? Go. Make this recipe nice and cheap. All right. I guess that wasn't that bad. I could just do that. So I'm gonna close all tabs. I'm gonna open up all of these again. Basically just copy and paste. This won't take me long. This will take me another 30 seconds maybe. And then we will look at shaders, maybe. I'll take a look. I will try to see if there is a way that I can do some kind of masking or something, right? Like some kind of transparency that like radiates from the middle. Like, I don't know, something like that. Last batch. I'm hoping that there aren't a lot of issues in Alpha 15, because I want to get the community server up and running so we can all play test this. Another thing, the first thing that I think I'm going to do, and I may do it in this stream, is the spells need another pass. All the grimoires and everything, they need to be rebalanced hardcore. Their mana costs are fine, I think, for the most part. But it's just like the effects need to be stronger. Durations. First thing I want to do is all the buffs that have durations, I want to increase them. Right now, a tier 1 buff is 2 minutes. A tier 3 or tier 2 buff is 3 minutes. A tier 3 buff is 5 minutes for duration. I'm chucking that right out. I'm gonna have tier 1 buffs last 5 minutes. Tier 2 buffs last 10 minutes, and Tier 3 buffs last, of course, 15 minutes. I think that's going to be better. The way it is right now, you kind of don't want to just put a buff on yourself for the sake of a buff, right? You know, like putting it on. Because they disappear too fast. It's a system where you have to plan your activities around your buffs, and I don't want that. I'm actually, thinking about the times. I would be okay with maybe doing a 10, 20, 30, 30 minutes for those kind of buffs. For most of them, right? The fly spell, I will probably keep that buff kind of low, right? 5 minutes for flight. The portals, right? The temporary portals that you summon. You know, make those also. Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe keep those as is too. It's just like a lot of the buffs, like underwater breathing, featherfall. You know, making that stuff last a while. Oh, and I changed all this. Good. So that's done. I don't know. Should I? You know what? Let me post something in the old Discord. Bear with me one moment here. I gotta make a flash poll. I want to buff the buffs durations. Please pick one. All right. Tier 1 equals 5 minutes. Tier 2 equals 10 minutes. If you are a subscriber to the stream, you will see, you'll have access to this alpha and you will see what I'm about to post. You could vote on this. Just throwing that out there. 10-minute, 20-minute, and 30-minute. Let's do a new poll, baby. There we go. Just throwing that in there. All right, people can vote. You know what? I'm going to cast... I can't cast the first vote because I don't want to sway people's opinions. Like, I always make sure to, like, wait towards the end to put in my voice, right? To just kind of slide it in there. But yeah, let's see what people vote for. Let's go into the shaders because now was I going to do anything else? Temporal stability. Yeah, so rust sickness. Let's look at that. I don't know what the hell happened here. Like, I don't understand it at all. Like, of course, this is like one block away. One block too far. Let's get set up for this, because I'm going to have to stand in this a lot. So right here should be good. Like, what the frick happened? Like, it kept the way it is. It just washed out the color. So weird, right? So weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it, the renderer for it. Screwed something up. I don't even know what I screwed up. Like, I don't. The problem is I don't know how long it's been broken, and I've updated GitHub so often with the updates. Like, I have no idea. I don't know if it was broken in like 14 and no one said anything. I don't know. But we gotta figure it out. All right, let's pull up the renderer here. I believe this is overlay rust sickness. Tell me your secrets. All right, so we got the sickness here. I have a feeling this is all bullshit. This is all bullshit. All right. So what do I want to do? God, where to even start? Color. Let's start with just straight color. See, that's the red, green, blue light in. I'm just curious. We're gonna kind of hunt and peck with this, so it's not that, right? There we go. Let's kind of keep it on the other side here. I can stand in it indefinitely in this admin block. That polar bear wants to eat my biscuits, man. Holy moly. I do have primary color here. But you know what? I don't think I'm doing anything for a color per se. All right, let's take a look. Maybe color is the solution here. You know what I want to do? We're gonna just go ahead and pause this. Let's pull up .NET Spy. Show me my desktop. Open. There we go. Because there are other effects, right? If you are cold, I think the center, and when you're like low on health, that you could still see the center. So how is that happening? Honestly, I have no idea. So let's see if we can find out. I wish there was someone I could talk to about shaders. Like, I know so little about shaders, it's sad. I look at something like this and I'm like, well, can I just inject the color myself? Like, it could be in the actual shader that I messed something up. Which is very real. Which is why, you know what? Let me not get ahead of myself. Hold on. I want to try one thing. I think it's in here. Okay, it's not here. It's the Spellforge, isn't it? I'm doing this new logic in the Spellforge. Nope, apparently not. So it's not the Spellforge. Is it the gateway? The gateway portal, maybe it's in here. Yes. In the colors. So let me try this. You posted a new poll about the duration of buffs. Which buff is this going to? This is going for almost all of them, Fritz. It's going to be the general default. A tier 1 mage spell, and now not a tier 1 grimoire, right? Just whatever, like all the tier 1 spells, all the buffs that you can get as a tier 1 mage, that's the base duration for those buffs. The way buffs are right now, I don't like the fact that you have to like plan your activities around your buffs because they don't last as long. I want you to put a buff on and have it last a while to where you can kind of set and forget and run and do something. I also want to maybe eventually put in a statistic or something that, like, as you cast buffs, you get better at casting buffs, which makes it to where the duration of your buffs, your spells that you cast last longer than someone who hasn't cast the spell as much to practice. I think that would be a really cool thing to put in. But for now, this is just a static amount. Static amount. Bum, 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 bum. So I'm going to put all of this in. I got to pull out the alpha, the dummy alpha, which I don't think is red at all. And then I think now I can just pop in test here. Now this may crash. Nope, does not crash. What if I do a reload on the shader? So I may not actually have anything for the projectile primary color. Because I think I'm remembering this a little more. I think I actually edited the shader itself. Yeah. So it's not doing anything about color at all. My God, look at that. It's horrible. Ew. You know what? Let's look at the shader. Let's look at the shader itself. Maybe we'll unwrap the mystery there. Oh man, what the hell is this called? Here we go. Overlay rust sickness. This is the one. See, so I did have primary color here, but I went back to the rust color here. If I add this back in, because this is why it didn't conk out on me, is because I have a variable for it. That's why it didn't screw up. See, I calculate a rust vector here. And then I don't do anything with it. I reassign it down here. So what happens if I just try to inject my colors in? We have to do .reload shader. Is it shader? No, it's shaders. There we go. Well, that's bullshit. Forget this, man. All right, we're gonna pull out the heavy dogs here, the big boys. Rust ball. I'm gonna look at this side by side here, starting at the bottom, actually. So, what if I just bring this back? Oh, that's pretty neat, actually. Like, I could kind of see some of the blocks. That was pretty cool. It's almost like a reversed effect. I mean, you still can't see shit, but that's kind of cool. Wait, I'm kind of onto something here. So it's taking the purple color and like putting that through. Oh, it's looking for fog amount. Let's pull up the fog. I mean, what if I don't want to really do a fog? All right, we're going to put that back. We're going to put that back. I don't think that's really what I want to look at. Red, green, blue. I'm getting the differences there. So all of that looks about the same. So for the rust colors, I'm actually using that instead of this. That's fine. All right, let's look at the math clamp numbers here. That's fine. That is good. This is actually identical to what's over here. Okay, now we're getting into some random stuff here. Let me just space this out a little bit. So I got all of this stuff here. Man, I commented out a lot of stuff. I have all of that commented out. All right, so that kind of brought it back to where it was with the darker shader. Okay, I was gonna say, let me just make sure it's not nighttime. No, it's not. All right, all right. So we're gonna comment that stuff out. Oh, you know what? Let's undo that because I actually found the stuff a little further up. So there is a whole little section here. Right there. And valid. Oh, you know why? I probably don't have... Let's undo that. I probably don't have that frag chord in as a variable right now. So we'll just do that. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going. Float B, that math is right. Divided by 4 times 5 divided by 4. So that looks good too. Okay, now up here, seed. Oh, look at that. Rift index. That isn't going to help, period. Because there is no rift index right now. And then you got your spikes, right? The spike noise. With enough noise, you can make it into a circle. All right, so let's save that, fireball it in, reload the shaders again. All right, so it's doing the blur effect again, right? At least it's consistent. Okay, so I got the seed in. That's correct. Looks like the noise is correct as well. F length UV. All right, there's that. That's the same. Uh-oh, we're nearing the top. Oh, here we go. Texture, depth. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay. Weird. All the rest of the stuff is in. Except for that kind of makes me wonder if I'm doing something else wrong. It's weird. It's almost like a deep underwater effect. It's bullshit. This is crap. Oh, oh, geez, you know why? Let me do this. I guess that didn't do too much, huh? Call for, so RGB divided by 4. What if I divide it by 1? Or not divide it, but yeah, divide equals. Nah, it's the same thing, huh? All right, let me undo that. Let me undo that. So this was the straight up apply fog. Doesn't really do too much, huh? Oh, hold on. Save, fireball. And we got to reload the shaders. No. Although I could see a little better now. That was pretty neat. Let's back out a little bit. All right, so I'll just keep it there. What if I do straight up color? So that's it's bullshit. So wait, outglow. Wonder if I need to do something like rust.r rust.g rust.b. Fucking does nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah, that works well. There we go. So for now, I will go back to this. I'll go back to that. Wonder if the problem is in the renderer itself. So what is this one again? So this is the gateway, which I know produces a pretty good effect. Which can be seen here, right? So I'm going to pop this out now. And we're going to go back to the overlay here. And I'm going to just take another peek here. Weird. So I'm not doing anything with a counter. Okay. It's kind of weird that I am not doing that. That's really weird that I'm not doing that. I thought that was kind of important. I guess we'll just continue for now. We'll continue. So that's my temporary color right there. And what I'm doing is I'm stopping the active shader, which is right there. False, the program to use it. In this, I'm doing a frame width and height. I don't think I need to do a frame width and height here. We got a projectile size, which isn't anything I'm doing. We got the color, which I'm putting through a specific color. U time is a different time counter. That's interesting. Oh, is that why it was freaking out before? Let me find that part. Was it U time that it was trying to do? New chord, GL. No, it wasn't U time that I was using. All right, so what do we got here? I could put that back. Fog minimum 0, density 0. The ambient stuff is the render ambient color. Light in is that. Primary, secondary. All this looks the same so far. It's bullshit. Oh, there, I got my width and my height there, my width and stuff. We got counter, which is actually just called counter. But I don't think I'm accumulating counter. Oh, I am right here. Man, I did this in a weird way. But whatever, as long as it's in there, that's all I care about for now. All right, so it looks like this is a little different. Which is fine. I'm not going to do anything with that. All right, we got the smooth. We got the in-frame. And then I'm tapping into the camera with this positional stuff. All right, all of this. The matrix translates stuff. I do not have any of this enabled in my portal renderer. Okay. I got a venom counter. Scale. I hate to say it, this is looking fucking identical right now. For the most part, this is looking identical. And then I stop and bring it back. But my shader's borked. My shader is borked. Oh, you know what? There is another thing I could compare. The VSH. All right, let's take a quick little peek-a-rooney here. What do we got? UV, vector 4, model, vector 4. Ooh, projectile size I just have as a 1, that's fine. Camera position, the fog. That's fine. That's fine. Identical. Freaking identical. Like to a T. So that's not it. I don't know why it washed out the color. I don't know why it's suddenly doing this. Oh, let's reload the shaders. I actually made it worse. I made it worse. All right. Okay. I'm curious. So that brings it back to that. You know, for now we're gonna bring this back around. Where else am I doing COL? Yeah, I'm peppering it up here too, huh? I'm gonna try to put in. Let's close out some windows here. I'm gonna try and get that section working that it rejected before, which is right in here. Where's the discard? So it's from this statement down to this one. From that. And then we go into the discard. I'm not sure what. Oh, U-time. U-time, I think, is the problem here. Can I reopen a closed tab? Good. Let's look to see if I need to put in something for U-time. Yep, there it is, U-time. Son of a biscuit, man. I'll just put in U-time right there. I need to move it to the right shader. It may be a little upset with me. It may crash. Yep. Because U-time would not be like initialized or anything right now. So let's just shut down. Shut down. Build. What I also need to do up here is put in U-time. Alright, let's see if it crashes. See, the best part is, since I have GitHub, I can roll back any of these changes. Okay, so I'm back to this. Back to that. Let's see, who do we got? Of course, votes 50-50 right now. 50-50. Get on and vote, people. Like, why the hell is the color like? Why is it all white? Like, I don't understand. You know what? Let's do a test. Let's do a damn test. GM2. Let's cast stupid Rust Orb. Stupid. That is rust colored. That is what we should have. Right there. Right there. Right there. But we do not. Because shaders suck. That's exactly why. Shaders are horrible. So we are going to look at this freaking side by freaking side. Bring me right at the top. Get rid of that. We're making this full screen. It's getting my undivided attention. Little divided. So that's in there, right? What's this? Z. Okay, so basically it's the same thing. This is all just empty space. And that's commented out. So there it is, right? Z. Float, yeah, the texture, blah, blah, blah. Good. That's the same thing. That line's the same thing. That line's the same thing. That's the same. Yep. The noise, I already know the noise is the same. That's the same. Then we got the seed, which is perfect. Makes the outer circle. I joined the chat room. Test? Okay. Looks like it was just really weird. All of a sudden my stream's like, you joined the chat room. I'm like, I haven't been here the whole time? Really? If people have been talking, I may not have seen it. He's ignoring me. All right, side by side, baby. So the spike noise. Technically, this is the old. I don't think it's the spike noise. Like, I don't. I think this just that just forms it into a ball. No, I'm not putting it in. No. The angle too. That's not color. That is the swirls and everything that we see already. That's what that is. And we got the angle. Okay, next thing down. K, there it is. Which is identical. That's identical. That's identical. The same. The same. Same. 5487. That is the same. That's the same. That's the same. I just copy and pasted that. All that crap is the same. All that's commented out. Hey, the Dilly. How's it going? I'm in shader hell. Freaking shader hell. Hate shaders so much. I hate them because I just don't understand them. And I tried to like Google how to do shaders, and then it's like, I mean, it's informative, you know, from a top-down view, but it still is like, they're like, oh, the math is easy. And like the best one I saw was like they're doing something with Final Fantasy 14. And it's like the buffs and everything and how the stuff's rendering and all the basic math. It's like, okay, you know what? I get all that. How the frick do I make a shader for this game? You know what I mean? Like, how do I make a shader for this game? I'm just like ripping apart the shaders that exist already, playing, like shaking the tree and seeing something cool happen, recording, right? Writing down what it is. No highlighting? I have no idea. I just want to know how. There's got to be a program or something that I could use to like Paint, right? How did you make that cool image, that cool PNG? With the Paint app, like I can, yeah, I made some pixels here and I selected that. There's gotta be something for shaders that are like that. You can't just imagine fart this stuff out. Or you can, and I'm just really bad at this. That's also a possibility. Because I'm looking here, and so far these two shaders are identical, so it's gotta be with the rendering. It's gotta be. The only difference here is that. It's the only difference. The only difference. All right, let's do a slash reload shaders. Oh, well, GM1. You mother... What the... Oh, it's working now. It was that one thing. It was that one thing. Does that mean I can inject purple into this now? I hate shaders. I hate them. Shaders are... I can't. I'm not a GFX guy or shader. I don't know if anyone is. I'm trying to reach out to people like Spear and Fang and like Apache, and do you know shaders? Yeah, that's how it was broken before. You son of a biscuit. You son of a biscuit. So it doesn't do like my colors here. I mean, what if I do that? I kind of want to play with it now that I know I could get it working. I can't see. I'm just trying to figure out what this stuff does. That's all I'm trying to do, man. All I'm trying to do. Like this, we're mixing the colors here. We're mixing whatever this is, right? Like I'm just this is how I do shaders, right? Let's see what this does. Oh shit, look at that. Ooh, okay. I kind of like that. See, that's what I do. That's what I do. Because it pixels everything. That is trippy, dude. Look at that. GM2. All right, let's make it daytime. There we go. Let's see it in its glory. Oh, damn! Look at that bear. You want to eat my biscuits, don't you? You wish, buddy. You wish. Bear's like, get me out of here. Okay, so that is pretty freaking cool. Maybe search for GLSL extension, or at least reading the code is more easy. Yeah, right? Like, I guess. There's so much I just don't know. Like, the certain version of, like, shaders that are ran in this game, right? Like, I know about the site Shader Toy, and there's so many cool things, but I don't know how to take parts of that and put it into here. You know what I mean? Like, the black hole particle swirling in, and it's like, I would love to have that. I don't know how to take that snippet of code and put it in here, because you can't just take those shaders. Dude, that is baller. That is cool. And all I did was comment that out. I did a couple things. I'm gonna write some notes here to turn this into a clear blurred effect. I'm actually just gonna copy and paste this whole part. We are going to comment it all out. I'm going to cut that out because I kind of want it in here, right? and it was that. I'm just going to put it back now. That was for... So this should put it back. Okay, so that puts it back into like what this is. Because I would love to, yeah, trial and error. I would love to like lessen this effect. Put something like in the center that like makes it to where it's clear, right? So it's not as jarring when you have rust sickness. Because a lot goes on here. There's a lot. Oh, you know what? Now that I got rid of the fog... Or no, I didn't get rid of the fog. It seems lighter than it used to be. I think it was a little darker before. Burp, burp. Freaking shaders. All right, well, I guess that is fixed. Yes, so. Freezing my buns off. You know what? Let's go into debug, the debug block. For a little while, I kind of wanted to up the amount of heat that you get back from it, because it's supposed to warm you, but it does it too slow, I think. But I just haven't cared enough to like revisit it. I care now. Bum, 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 bum. Body temperature. Boom. See, you know what? I may be doing this wrong, actually. So what am I doing? Body temperature. If your body temperature is below 32, that's your current body temperature. What else do I have at my disposal here? So normal, I have normal body temperature. You know what? Can I just look in here? Thank you. Thank you. So the default body temperature is actually 37? Oh, shoot. Let's change that. I just want to see if my body temperature increased. You know, I probably could do... Oh, that's what it was. My threshold was too low. I was right at 32 degrees Celsius. That's warm enough, right? Okay, that makes more sense. What else don't I know? It's gonna go back in here. So normal, you know what? To future-proof myself, because that right there is actually what I'm trying to put as like the normal body temperature. I guess this is something that you could change through through a config, but 37's the normal. So instead of me putting a static amount here, let's go ahead and put this in normal body temperature, just like that. So if the game does end up changing, at least I got, or if someone else has like a value or, you know, whatever, I'll just use that. Okay, so rust sickness is working again. That blurred effect was pretty cool. How could I use that? Now, it would be cool if I could add like a tint of color to it. Because I think that kind of effect with like a slight tint... See, I don't know how to do like an alpha or anything, or like a alpha mask or anything, you know, just a I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know. Let's see if anyone voted on the buffs yet. We got 3 votes. Oh, we got 2 people wanting the bigger times. Sweet. How you doing, the Dill? What are you working on these days? The Dilly. All right, kind of done playing with a lot of this stuff. Like I said, like I'm not really adding anything else to my Magic Alpha. I'm experiencing. You can just call me Dilly. Thanks, Dilly. So what are you working on? Mostly VS base game. Oh, I bet that's fun. You gotta give me a hint. Are we gonna see? These are the two things that I would love to have. I would love dimensions. Honestly, Dilly, if Vintage Story had dimensions like Minecraft dimensions, right? Like you warp to the Nether in the end, right? We can make our own worlds. I think Vintage Story would destroy my social life for a while if that was the case. Because I'm like, I want to make a magic world, right? You know, I want to make like the Magic Forest, the Twilight Forest kind of thing. I want to, I want to make it to where like an Archmage can have their own like world square, right? Like kind of position people, like, you know, wrap it around in like Bedrock, but it's like your space that you go into. I would love dimensions and animated textures. I think a lot of people like they don't realize how much more you can make something feel, right? Like visually with animated textures. Because like we got particles, that's cool. Particles are kind of limited. You know what I mean? Like something like the rendering here, like there's some weird stuff that I'm noticing with the animation system for blocks. Like that kind of stuff would be great to have, because like a lot of magic mods for Minecraft, it's like, look at these cool effects, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, guys, I don't have animation, I don't have like animated textures. Like those little symbols and the stars twinkling and stuff, those are animated textures. Like we don't have those yet. Trust me, when they're in, I'm gonna be doing an overhaul of all my stuff. Yeah, that should be possible with 1.20. Oh god. But it's not plug and play right now. Yeah, oh god, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Oh god. Some modders do not remember the old name, already found the code for the new dimension things. Of course, right? That's cool. I saw the Shiver. I love the new monsters. Dilly, my big thing with this, like, I love survival. Give me a reason to fear the world, to fear the dark, right? To build a fort, to have armor and equipment, right? Give me reasons to protect myself. You know, like the drifters before, they were easy, right? They could see you 15 feet away through solid blocks. They're all crowding at your door. You know what I mean? Like they're throwing rocks. Like at least throw like a ball of rod or something. I mean, right? You're pegging me to death with rocks. That's not really Eldritch horror themed. You know what I mean? Like we need a good Lycanites mobs. That's what we need. And we need someone to do. I would love for someone to make a mod for World Gen, because like I just added a gateway system, magical gateway systems. And honestly, like it gets to a point where I don't really feel like exploring anymore, because what you see right here in the world is basically what you'll see in most places, right? In the temperate zone. So it's not like you're gonna stumble upon like a magic forest or a desert here, or hey, there's a glacier tundra. Oh, look at those trees, right? And this other biome here, I want to build here, right? Which gets me playing in the servers longer, right? I got a primo spot. There was a lake right there. You know what I mean? Like it that sense of like stumbling upon something, being like, that's a new kind of wood. You know what I mean? Because like I have these, and you could teleport, you know, to linked gateways, but you know, what's the point of going like 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 blocks away when, you know, you'll see basically a lot of the same world gen. I would do world gen stuff, but honestly, I don't understand it. Like, it may just be that I haven't really looked at it that much. I come from Minecraft, right? Like, I'm used to the concept of like biomes and stuff. So when, with world gen, it's like I don't really know how you could do something like that in this game, right? Like, how do you dictate a biome that's not a biome? That generates certain types of like grasses and flowers and trees, and you know what I mean? And have like, it's not even like you could have a set temperature or anything. It's a tough one. Let's link back to this. Oh, I linked. Okay. Boom. There we go. I didn't walk fully into the portal. Oh man. Lee Lord just subscribed on YouTube. Thank you very much, Lee Lord. I'm glad I'm starting to get the those kind of notifications. And while I do have some biome raised on rain and temperature that generates different features and/or high and shaped terrains, that's pretty neat. Yeah, because like even like the world spawn too. Like I've been working with Verlia, right? I'll show you this, because this is another thing that I need to get working on. So I wanted to add creatures, right? But the way, I wish there were more parameters on spawning in creatures, because I would love to have like my elementals. I would love to be able to say, you know what, during this month period and this month period, these kind of creatures can spawn, right? To where I don't have to have like, during month 2, month 3, months 2 through 4, right? Like that's when this creature will start to spawn. I would love to have stuff like that. But let me just rebuild this here. I can't wait to get my hands on 120, because I want to redo like my mount mod and everything. And oh no, cancel, force quit, please, no. I'm so used to clicking on that world. So they should change a bit when going very far. Ocean update. Let me tell you, I have a submarine that is just waiting to be put in. So I have these wyverns here that I want to make mountable. So I will be dipping into mounted stuff. I gave these guys some pretty advanced AI, I'd say. They have like 2 brains pretty much. One is their flight brain and how they attack and everything. The other one is a transition state back down to like, it being on the ground. If you hit them, you have a chance of knocking them out of the sky depending on your damage and just the probability of it. They don't get stuck in water. There we go. Initial jump up. So yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool. It's my little project there. I can't wait to put those things out. Verlia did the model for him. She is so good with modeling. It takes me I hate modeling. Like, I'm so slow at it. So slow. World gen's an interesting, but you need to think in chunks. Get to know how that all works. Seems hard in the beginning, but you get used to it. It's probably like with every new thing you start learning. Yeah. Well, 1.20. That should be easier to get them mountable. I hope so. Honestly, I do feel, Dilly, I do feel a little disheartened with 1.20. I have rewritten my my machines mod 3 times because the mounting stuff like changes. It's starting to kill me, man. It's honestly, it's feeling like Minecraft Forge at that point. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, do I retire the mod? You know, like, do I just say, you know what, guys, this mod is not gonna be coming back out? You know, it's I've been thinking about it. It may actually come up to a coin toss if I'm still on the fence about it. When 1.20, not like the release candidate or anything, when 1.20 is out, I'll probably take a look at it, and I'll see what it takes. Because remember, like, that mod has been around for a while. I still remember when Tyron came in, he's like, so how does it work? You know, how's it working? I haven't used it yet. I'm like, well, I had to, like, you know, configure my own button inputs to be able to move, and, you know, client and server disagree on when you're mounted and when you're not, you know? Like, it's... I was talking with Gerst about it a little while back now, because he's got pet AI, right? And we're both like, yeah, our mounting system, man, like our mods need rewrites because they're not like client and server talking, or it's a pretty big deal when you're trying to like not look like you're rubber banding when you're moving, and it's hard. It's hard. The hurdles. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. I still want to use this effect for something, because that was cool. Oh, I bet if I mix it, I bet that last value is maybe the percentage of the mix. I bet I could tone it down a little bit. What if I make this 0.25? I want to see this. I'd also love to be able to stand on entities. That's another thing. Minecraft, when I made my machines mod, I would dismount you above the machine if you were accidentally dismounted, and you would stand on it instead of falling to your death. I would love that too. So what kind of stuff are you working on? What kind of, like, you're doing some of the biome stuff? I guess we'll go back into this world. Yeah, I'm on like version 15 of my alpha. I've never really modded Minecraft before. Yeah, I guess the mount system going from 0 to the raft and now the Elks is probably a lot of changes. Yeah, it unfortunately has been a lot. So for Minecraft, I modded using Minecraft Forge, and every major release of like the game, right, like 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, right, 1.12 whatever, right, like all the major revisions there, you pretty much had to write your mod from scratch, because the guys, like, Minecraft may not have changed like how they register entities, like core basic stuff. It seems like what the people at Forge wanted to do is they're all sitting around and they're like, you know what? Let's use this new factory to register entities in Forge, and you gotta know advanced Java to get this stuff done, right? So they would come out with their update like, oh, by the way, your mods all break, right? Because you can't register the same stuff, and the methods have all changed because they are just rewriting things for the sake of rewriting it. So then each major revision, like, I had to spend close to a month, like, I can't work on anything new. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I can't do all this awesome stuff that I want to do in the mod because that's more things that are going to break when the game inevitably updates. You know what I mean? And you go to the Forge forums, right? And I would ask, like, hey, how do I register entities now for, 1.12.2? right? Or whatever, 1.14.2, or and then you would be met with like, oh, come back when you learn Java. It's like, all right, dickhead, let's calm down, right? Let's. But that Lex guy was a pretty big penis. he was a pain in the. He was such a disgusting person. Punch that guy in the face if I met him in person. Yeah, VS modding, like my other mods, like this magic mod to bring it in. Nothing really changed with like registering entities or anything, I assume anyways. So this is going to be a relatively short lift, right, to bring this into 1.20. I'm not worried about it at all. Chances are maybe some things are more dimension aware, right? But then I could just hone in on those things. It was like when in this past update, right, 1.19 or whatever, yeah, I think it was 1.19, where all of a sudden block position, you couldn't have just X, Y, and Z. You had to have X, Y, Z, and then the dimension, which defaults 0, right? So it's like, okay, well, it's, you know, it's not something I need to change immediately, but it's that old way's obsolete. I should migrate over to this. So everywhere where there was the block position, right, I just had to add the 0 to it, and bam, you know, it starts working again. The machine mod, the mounting system though, it's I'm like, I'm getting anxious just thinking about it now, because I'm gonna have a lot of work to do. I feel a lot of freaking work. I work on many things here and there, from the game infrastructure to the web. Are you the one who the thing that made me the happiest? Let's see if I can just find it fast here. Let me pull this up. We still got 3 votes. Come on, peeps. Juno, hey, did you vote? Did you vote on the buff link? You should go do that if you haven't. In the Rustbound Magic Alpha Discord channel. All right. Let me find this here. I'm kind of bummed I missed Tyron's stream. I didn't get like a notification or anything. I totally could have watched it. All right, where is it? Was it at news, right? It's news. Yeah, there it is. I'm just trying to find the pre-alpha stuff. You know what? I'm not finding it. Like this is different than what I saw before. It was the fact that the client and the server are like synchronized more now. Like reading that, I was like I could now throw a block and it's not gonna do like the dance if it's on the edge, right? Like, oh god, you know, I won't even be able to do it now. You son of a biscuit. Whatever. You know what I mean, right? Where it like bounces in between blocks and it's like falling and coming back and falling and coming back. Yeah, newer server-side physics. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, woo! I was so happy. That and the new monsters. Oh my god. I can't wait to survive with them. And I can't wait to see, like, I'm hoping that they have some kind of mechanic. You know what I mean? Not just like when I saw the shivers, I'm like, their animations and stuff, like, you could tell that, you know, some of like the rotation and stuff, like as it was walking, there was a back leg that would like jerk ahead a little bit. And it's like, you know what, you could always smooth that stuff out. But like the way it like shakes and stuff, oh man, it was so good. And it's like quick. I love that. Yeah, it looks amazing, man. Oh, I would love to see like some kind of mechanic with it, you know, like look at like Minecraft, right? Like we can always post everything there because these are like parallel games, right? Like You got spiders, right, that climb up the walls, right? You got the skeletons that shoot the arrows, the creepers that blow up. You know what I mean? Like, monsters have like their mechanic. Like Enderman, right? Like, you look at an Enderman and it pisses it off. But if you have a pumpkin on, right, you can look at it and not have it like aggro onto you, and it like teleports around. You know what I mean? I would love to see that stuff, like, these creatures to be like something more than just like, oh, it's rushing me with everything else. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see the future of those. I really can't wait. Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, just like because like I had an idea for like, because I have my creatures mod, right, and I have things like my wraiths. When you try and sleep in a bed, right, I have it to where like the ghosts have a chance of spawning. Like I have the beholders, right, my unstable that are kind of like floating creepers in a way. I brought in the Ravagers here, the rustic Ravagers. These little guys are actually creepers. Like, they're Minecraft. They don't attack you or anything. They stalk you, and they blow up. That's literally all they do. But at least it's something different. If they can get the drop on you, it's gonna hurt you, right? And they got 2 modes. So if you're like really far away, see, like, it's far away, it's creeping close to me, like slowly right now. And then it eventually gets to a certain point where it gets close enough, and then it sprints over to you. And then it has its little thing. I have it to where it's like 4 seconds, and then bam, it explodes and hits you, right? Something very simple. Fucking that detonation. Look at that. I got the mage armor on, so that didn't hurt nearly as much. It doesn't do any block damage. People don't like block damage because, like, if you're unlucky and something blows up your chiseled stuff, you could lose like days of work. Like, I didn't want that. Yeah, I'm not sure if VS is the game for that kind of thing. Most leave the game design and such to the rest of the team. Like to implement whatever we need. Yeah, pretty particles. Yeah, more advanced behaviors of entities will be nice, but it takes time to code all that stuff. That's true, it does. But I gotta say this. I'm doing it. Like, it's possible. It is possible to do it. Just, and like that little creeper thing, that was just, like I got my elementals that like shoot magic balls. You know what I mean? Like, shoots like magical projectiles and stuff. It's possible. It would just be neat, right? Kind of shake it up a little bit, so not everything's a ground and pound. Yeah, that's what mods are for. That's true. We need more in the modding community. I'm hoping like the floodgates are going to open, and like, this game's got to be on other people's radars, right? Other Minecraft modders, like the guy who did the aeronautics, right? That the airship thing, like the game was on his radar for a bit. I guess there was something with the physics engine, right? That made it to where you couldn't really he couldn't fully bring in like the mod at the current state, because I guess the way the physics were, like he built something and it like went down and it kind of jumbled a little bit. VS has to follow the base game's theme and stay within reason. Well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, anything outside of that, right? Like, I mean, basically, you make the tools in the base game. Like, you give us dimensions, and us modders are going to be the ones that make, the remake of the Twilight Forest and Mining World stuff. And, like, I guarantee you there's going to be some diehards out there that are like, we made the Nether, Yeah, mini dimension system was supposed to add biddable driving stuff. That's another, actually, Dilly, that's another factor of my machine mod. I was thinking, like, if the mini dimensions are being worked on, what shelf life, buildable, okay. What shelf life does, ViesCraft machines have? Because that's a totally different system, right? You're not building it, you're assembling an entity right now, right, that you mount on top of. You're not necessarily building like your own multi-block structure to then fly, which you could do if the mini dimensions kind of gets cleaned up, right? So that's the other thing that I'm thinking about is, do I bring ViesCraft machines back and put it on the new mounting system? Or do I wait a revision to have, to have the, the mini dimensions to be able to build your own multi-block thing, right? Like, what do I want to mod for, right? Because the mini dimensions look cool. You know what's funny? Hold on, I will show you. Right there. I still have it up. I still have the mini dimensions text up. Right? So I'm looking at this. I want to use it because I gotta, just like all modders, right? It's like you gotta plan for like the next step. Like, what's the game gonna have? What new tools am I gonna have to play around with? Right? And each system, like, if I were to bring ViesCraft machines back, right, and it's like, oh, well, it's going to be an entity-based kind of system, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's still going to be fun to use. And I'll actually build it this time around with multiplayer servers in mind, as the other one. Like, I don't have any, it depends on what you want in the end. But mini dimensions haven't been touched in 1.20. Yeah, that's fine though. I mean, you're adding a bunch of other stuff, right? Like an actual, like, my hope is that this mounting system is going to be pretty much like final product. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be, hopefully this is like the maybe last time that I have to rewrite the mod if I do it. Where's my pet? Let's bring out a pet. Let's bring out the fox, the gold fox. There we go. There you go, little buddy. There. little fuzzy nuts. So I hope it won't have to change too much. We move to more like a dimension system. Yeah. Let me tell you, like, if you guys really do like get the dimensions working for 1.20, it is going to ruin my personal life. I've said before. So this is my plan. I actually have a couple big ticket items for the Magic mod still. First big ticket item is going to be potentially like a grimoire, a spell upgrade system. I want to bring in lunar magic. I want to bring in soul magic. I want to bring in Thaumcraft, how you had the golems that could like do automated tasks and stuff. I want to bring in a form of that. That's actually the pet system here has been a test bed for that. Seeing how I can command them, make AI tasks for them to do certain things. It's not going to be hard to pop an inventory on these guys, which is the next thing I want to do, and have it to where it kind of hoovers up items into their personal inventory. But I want to add that. I want to add the dragons, of course, and then make those tameable and mountable. But I want to add like elemental dragons and bosses. I actually have my first mini boss here, and if dimensions happen, I want to do something like Lycanites, where I create a world, a teardown world, with a huge monster in there have different phases of a fight, right? Like, and you summon the monster and you get teleported into whatever the biome element is, right? If it's fire, it's going to have a lot of like fire flame stuff, and you're going to want to use like water magic and stuff. But I can't really do that in the current game because I'm going to have block destruction and stuff, right? But the big thing is I want to add rifts. I want to add more to rifts. I want to add elemental rifts, and I want to make it to where like that rift game to where like a fire rift can open, and then it will slowly change the terrain around it, like Taint in ViesCraft. Now you'll be able to get rid of it. Like I have a spell right now that can close rifts. So you'll be able to close those rifts, but I kind of want the elemental creatures to... The opposite ones hate each other, and they fight each other as it is, right? So I think it would be cool to have, like, a fire rift event, and fire rifts open up, and then they start taking things over, and you have to, like, close those rifts, right? And stop the spread of the fire taint element. That's the big goals. Oh, have you seen the new activity system in 1.20? But that is more for static things. I've seen a lot. I haven't seen specifically the activity system, though. But it sounds like it may be right up my alley. That'd be pretty cool. I kind of want to learn more about that. Yeah, it's always hard. Add new stuff, break old things, make cool new ones. Yeah, stay compatible with old things. I know. It is a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. At least as a modder, like we have the creativity to do whatever the heck we want, right? Like I'm like the gateway system here is something that for the longest time I had on my list, and I'm like, you know what? Now's the time. This is totally the time. One thing I don't like, I don't know how to fix it. So when you teleport, I'll show you here. And it normally, why would you care, right? Like it's just in this circumstance I've noticed this weirdness. Let's pull up .NET Spy. Yeah, we'll do this one here. So we'll do I think it's the oh, you know what I could do? I could just go into my stuff here. There we go. The gateway portal. Oh, I need the block for the gateway portal. It's not the block for the gateway portal. Oh, that's the Oculus. There we go. Trigger teleport. Teleport player. There we go. So let's take a look at this. You can't really take a snapshot like it. You can't modify your position, your pitch, and your yaw. Like it teleports you, but there's like it kind of like there's nothing in here that would allow you to say like, hey, I want to input preserving my pitch and my yaw or anything, because like you go through my teleporters. There we go. Went to my exhaustion. See, like I was facing east, so when I came into this teleporter, it faces me east. I can't. I have it right now to where I can look at the block position. And I could try and set it to where, because I want you to like look like you're walking out, but the way the teleport is, it like there's nothing like it doesn't seem to work. And I'm looking here and I'm like, because my big thing is I don't like using Harmony. I try my best to make sure other people aren't using Harmony that I help. Like for instance, I just the butchery mod. I worked with Oates because he had the system where like the long time bug of like you'd pick up a creature and it would be like starved. But the way they had it set up is they were doing harmony patching and all this stuff, so I just rewrote it for him so it was stats based, because all he wanted to do was just limit the amount, the drop rate on creatures that you don't use in the butchery table, right? But the harmony stuff was doing like all this extra stuff, and it was obviously it was failing. So I don't like to use harmony if I could ever help it. Yeah. Ooh, I like this song. I want to see what that new activity system is now. I want to see what it does. Like a kid in a candy store. Something new? Dimensions? Oop. What was that spell? Oh, projectile spell. I'm so happy I added this. The buff system. Love it. Yeah, I try to avoid harmony when I can, but it is a useful thing. I do need it in some mods. Yeah, I'm like, the way I see it, if I'm not touching our communal kitchen sink and breaking it, you know, like I will have less issues going forward, I think. I think having the particle effects definitely helps with the buffs too. Oh, the dill, you know, the dilly. There is one thing that's weird. Has to do with armor, and I want you to be aware of this because I've gotten some feedback on it. This armor right here, very detailed, has a lot of shapes, and I can show you this. This is going to be a unique one here. Right, so let me just, whoops. Let me just throw all of these out, right? I pick them up. Everything is perfectly fine. There's no lag at all. Now, if I have a bag, let's go with let's do a leather. I'll use a game one, right? Bam. Let's put a shield here, and let's do the same thing. Right? Let me put this here. Now watch what happens. My hotbar is full. So when I pick up the items, it puts it into the bag, right? Look at the lag. Until you stop picking it up. What happens here, it looks like, and I've troubleshot this, every time an item gets picked up and gets put into the bag, it's forcing a redraw of your whole character, right? It's almost like the backpack slot is forcing a redraw of your shape, your character shape, which redraws your armor. And if you have detailed armor like this, where it's got a lot of little things going on, and each individual item you pick up, it's overloading things because it's like refresh multiple times. Control F10. There. Whoops. We'll do that again. People come up to me and I'm like, guys, because I want to make more complex armor, and I need a disclaimer with it. Here, let me GM1. I know. So cold. Alright, so I got all that. Let me pick that up. GM1, right? Or it doesn't really matter, right? Let me do that again. I did see something pop up there. Let me do that again. I'll take a screenshot. All right, let's do. There we go. All right, ready. Shit! It was too delayed. Maybe do debug log ticks. All right, debug log ticks 50. Then we'll log it in main. All right, perfect. All right, we'll do it again. All right, shield. Okay, let me pop this up. Let's go to vintage story, because I was looking to see, like, maybe I'm doing something wrong, right? Like, but it was just it's a basic shape for armor, right? Like, what do you mean? I got it to stop by making this. Let's go into here. So for my armor, I made a watered down version where I deleted most of the shapes. So like the headpiece is literally just a circlet. Problem goes away. And it gets progressively worse if your computer's a little bit more like a potato and you have like just the chest piece on or something, you'll see a lot of lag too. My computer's pretty beastie, and having full set of armor on, it rocks it. Boop. And that's not the right place. Here it is. No, that's not the right folder either. Hold on. Logs, here we go. And it was client main.txt, right? Client-main. Not sure what we're looking for here. This upload entity mesh, I think. Yeah, look at that. Each time, and that's what I'm talking about. Each time it's like pulling this up. If I wonder if I just do a search here. Yeah, I didn't think I'd find anything. If you look at drop, what is it? Drop. Shoot. It was in like item slot. I went down the rabbit hole with this one. Do I have it up already? No, I don't see anything. But that's not relevant for client-side rendering. Oh, are you talking about this upload entity mesh? Happens a lot. No, the server command above. I didn't see a server command. Server command above. But yeah, I mean, basically, you know, I could probably find it again. I kind of rabbit holed myself. It had to do with I think I noticed it when I was looking to see about like the offhand, right? The offhand item slot, like drop if hot. And it was, you know what? Let's do bag slot. What is the item slot for the bags? You know, let's look at item slot in general. Okay, we're here. Let's analyze this. Exposed by, I don't really care about that. Used by. Oh my god, it's freaking out. Of course, there's so many things I use this. Let's see, item slot back, whole ammo slot. Oh, where is it? I don't know. I'm gonna waste time looking for it. What it looked like was I mean, it just looked like it's just trying to like redraw the shape. And it looked like it was trying to do it for like the backpack, like the item slot has updated, and it sends something that redraws your player shape, right? As if you are equipping a new backpack, but that forces all of your armor to redraw as well. Your whole character shape is what it looks like. I guess server sends a new inventory network packet, and then the client re-renders your entire character. Yes, yeah, Dilly. But that kind of stinks, though, if you want to create armor that's complex, right? That also will limit, you know, like what you could have like in your hand at the same time. Like I got that shield, right? Like that would probably have to be redrawn as well, right? The backpack, if I want a intricate backpack, you know, that's going to be redrawn. I mean, the gears and stuff, like the way I did the angles on the shoulders and everything, like there are a lot of shapes here. Like look at all the gears, right? You know, like there's a lot of shapes. It would just be nice if like if that could redraw. Like I could understand like this, right? You change like an inventory slot, right? Yeah, something, you know, something like that, right? I can't really. But you know, like it should re-render that. But every time you put an item into the bag slot, I mean, forcing a redraw is kind of silly, right? Because it's. But I have to put a disclaimer with my armor that says, you know, like if you're going to be mining, like you can't really use this armor because you're going to be lagging as you pick things up. So that is a bug. I really like this. I don't think I've ever used this this debug option. Honestly, didn't even know it was there. I have to like hunt and peck for this stuff. That's pretty freaking cool. Kind of want to see what happens when I cast a spell. Hey, look at that! That's cool. That's freaking cool, man. I love that. Yeah, it seems unnecessary to redraw. So many small tools I don't even know for the special features and systems. You know what, Dilly? There was I could have swore there was a command you could put in. So a big problem with me, one of my many flaws in modding, is the fact that the localization keys, I change things so often when I'm developing this stuff. I know I have dead localized keys. I thought there was a way to where you could export a list of all the localized keys that your mod is using, right? Or like the game is using or something in there like that. Because I need to go through, like I thought you could generate a list and then I was going to like bring everything over to the new list and then clear out the copious amounts of keys that I know are not being used anymore after the rewrite. At least there's a command handbook in there now. Ooh. Command? Oh, probably a 1.20? Is that a 1.20 feature? On the menu? Yeah, ow. This would probably be a, you know what? Let's do all. Oh my god. You made me so happy. What the fuck is that? Block item PNG export? No. I've been taking screenshots of the items and I've been manually editing them in paint.net. I rewrote all the commands to be in there. Oh, most some tyrant did. Oh my god. Do you know? Do you know off the top of your mind here? Do you know if there is something for like exporting the language keys? You know if there's anything like that? See, like debug code blocks prints a list of all loaded blocks in the server log. Okay. Okay. Debug VT. Is there something in here? There, click Q. Oh my god, there's so much. This is so cool. I don't know what that is. Cloth test. I feel like it's gonna be in here if it's in here. Item codes, all prints codes of all loaded items. Okay. Getting there. I like this song. Yeah, it's not perfectly searchable. You know what? The fact that it even exists is freaking awesome. I feel like I would have found it already. Nah. Because I feel bad with people, like, some people want to localize things, and I'm like, guys, like, I don't know what keys are dead keys, what keys are not dead keys. I need to create keys, you know, like, I know there's some things I don't even have a key for. I'm, like, shotgunning, you know, updates in. Debug EXP Clank, I think it is. Who's that? List of missing blocks and item translations with suggestions. What? Oh. Okay, missing translations exported to collectible.lang. Because I don't mind, like, I mean, if this would kind of fill in the gaps, say, like, yeah, you have a key here that has nothing, I could totally just get rid of my language file, right? Blank it out, and then generate this, and then hopefully it gives me a list of all the keys that are known in my mod, right? And then I can just go through and clean up all the old crap finally. Like, finally. What is it called? It was collectible something. Where did it throw it? It didn't tell me where it put it. Oh boy. Missing translations explored to collectible.lang.json. Let's go into roaming. Collectible lang. Oh, it's in Vintage Story. Interesting. I would like to navigate to here. Open file location. There it is. What do we got? We got nothing. Let's do a test. Let's do a test with this. Doesn't print on startup the missing ones or debugger main. Oh. Yeah, it was just a thought. It was just a thought. These are just things that, you know, just like being a modder, like things I've noticed, right? Like I think the biggest like breaking one is the fact that, like, I want to make like necromancer armor and druid armor, and I want to make, like, you know, like Shadow Knight plate mail. Like, I want to make, you know, like just a bunch of things, and I can't really do that because it, you know, again, that redrawing of the shape, like the player shape, like I gotta make my armors, I gotta make them a little less detailed, which kind of stinks. Oh, I added drops too, for holidays. Like, you can get Christmas hats around Christmas time. I added a lot of stuff to the Magic mod. What I was going to do to test, no. Please close. No. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I was going to just edit out a key and then see if it tells me, right? So I could go into... See, like, I know shadow gems don't exist anymore. But this, right? So if I do that, dot reload lang. I should have exported it. So did it read it? If I just delete the whole thing. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Right? So it sees it. Interesting. Is it trying to autofill for it? Like, how would it know that key is there? Unless it's still like in here. Oh, let me just leave the world. Hold on. We're gonna restart this here. Because it's weird, because it's got my key in there. So Dilly, do you do any Twitch streaming? Can't remember. I don't know if I'm following you or not. I would love to see some. I'd love to be a fly on the wall just to like watch the creativity. Sometimes I do streams. Have you streamed recently? Maybe that's what it was. Work's been slamming me pretty hard, so my weeks have blurred together. Time is an illusion to me. I was the one time, God, I think it was Lunatic came in a raid, and I'm like, oh, I was watching you, and then I had to try and recall it, and I'd gotten like 3 hours of sleep that night, and I'm like, I don't remember the game or what you were doing. Like I think it was like it was a game that I wasn't familiar with, but my brain was misfiring. So I was so tired. And I'm like, I know I hopped in the stream. I just don't remember what you were doing. So forgive me if I asked a question there. It was a little dot reload lang. Yeah, I did do that. I just I deleted that completely out, right? Like, and restarted the game. Let's go back into here. It was that debug, right? EXP, right? So it's like it's localizing it for me. Does it do that? Let's do this. Let's cut that out. Because if this works, I know what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to be cleaning up all my localized keys in the mod. There it is. Oh, it's trying to come up with names for me. That's what it's doing. But these are just for items. I don't think this is going to work for something like tooltips, right? I don't think this is going to work. I may be screwed. Yep. It's just probably for items and blocks. I think they're just going to be dead keys forever. Forever. All right, let me undo a couple things here. Make sure. There we go. Back to default. I was gonna say I didn't think it would like it would tell me like all the times I'm using localized keys and like menus and and you know, completion, like completing casts and stuff like that. I'm like, how would it know? Oh man, it's almost time for me to be an adult. Let's see here. Item and block is integrated. I got you. Think those tooltips are optional. Yeah, that's all right. I think I just have to go through and do just like just go through every one of my class files, because I have a lot of code to clean up anyways. I want to migrate some stuff out into like the, you know, the ARC file that I have, because I figure out how to do some things. For instance, I have logic to where I could take a block and I can like around another block. I found out that I could have it to where it like orbits around and rotates as it orbits, right? So I find cool things like that, and I'm like, oh, let me just comment it out and write a note for it. I got to pull all that stuff out. But you could do a ***T search, copy that to a file. With some editor multi-cursor magic, that should be kind of fast to get all your language keys. Oh, wait a minute, what? I could, okay, so... So are you talking about in the handbook, right? So it'd be like debug. What's that debug? Is it the same thing? No, it looks a little different. So in here, I could do something? Oh, get lang. Oh, really? No, in VS, just search for all lang and get it, and multi-cursor copy that to the files. At least in VS Code, you could do such a thing. VS 2022. See, I have to admit, I don't use this professionally, so I don't know how to do a search. I know how to do, like, you can do multi-line stuff, right? The hotkey. Like, I can do multi-line stuff. Neither do I. You know, there is a hotkey for it, because every once in a while I fat finger things enough, and then like it wants to do like a global like search, and I'm always like, why the fuck would I want to do that? I just wanted to, you know, control paste or so, you know, like it's some weird thing. That's a good idea though. That is a good idea to do that and just get all the files. Probably would save time. Would definitely save time. On the top is a search, should be Control Shift. You know, it probably is Control Shift. No, but there's a search right here. Code search. Lang dot get. No. Oh, it's searching for files? Weird. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Control Shift E? Oh, it brought up the same search. Yeah, lang get. Control Shift F. Oh, okay. Control Shift F. Wait, this is what it is. Find. So look, entire solution. Lang dot get. Look at that. That's everything in entity. Oh, so entire solution is probably going to be Damn, look at all this stuff right there. There's all the stuff for the guidebook right there. Yeah, look at that. Woo! Look at that, huh? Yep, those are the things I need to localize. That's great. Oh yeah, controls. You know what? So I have a cheat sheet that I made, right? Because I you know, maybe later tonight I'm gonna want to come back here and find this. So and I have a references tab because I fat finger like everything. So I put commands and stuff in here. So this is making the list. Control plus Shift plus F. This command opens a, I'll say global find search. Use it to get lang.get vars. There we go. Little love note for myself here. There we go. That's great. The Brady! /s export all items. It appears that you knew about these functions all along. Like the VS commands. I missed something. Oh, you have the bar hop. I have the same as the markdown file to keep recent commands. I need a lot of, right? Like this is the biggest one when I'm working on my entities, to like turn the plates on to see like, okay, what tasks are you running and what animations are you trying to run? Line 54, are you talking about in here? Yeah. Yeah, I guess I did know that. Well, shit. You are very perceptive. I totally forgot this was in here. What did I put in here? That's one. Connected players. Wireframe. I don't know what that is. So value of like 1? Self-talk, normal view, perception filter. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Recompose chat. There we go. I can read it a little better now. Yeah, very perceptive. I guess I knew the whole time. I was keeping the information from myself. All right. It is about time for me to be an adult. Let's find someone to live stream, or to raid. Best kept secrets are the ones we keep from ourselves. First of all, let me just put in. I want to make sure I'm following you, Dilly. Think, yep, this is you. All right, I'm following you now. I'll have to look to see if you have any past. No. Oh, no past videos found. Ah. All right, I just shot you. Now I won't miss you when you're live streaming. You'll come right up. Oh, the TP thing. Player entity position y'all equals 1. Did you try to mess with this? I'll show you what I did for that, because I have the code commented out like all other code. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna come back to this, and I rarely seem to have time. All right, so let me go into the portal here. Where was it? So this was some of the stuff that I tried to do. I have a spell called True North that points you into the north direction. And I got the float, like however the game calculates y'all with float. And then entity, I tried to change the head, the body, the position, the y'all position, server position. I also whip the camera around, and again, this does work if I get rid of. I think the main problem here is the fact that I'm trying to set this stuff dynamically, but it kind of locks it in. I think to the server side with my debuff, the gateway debuff that I put on. And my first thing would be like, oh well, I could just tie into teleport, right? Because I have to set your position, right? Like this sets your server side position and your player position, right? Like your motion, and but there was nothing like in here for like a y'all. Although this action on teleported was pretty interesting. I'm trying to remember what the real problem was here. Because if I put in, let me show you. Okay, so here I did like a north, south, east, and west. But that is something that like ticks every 5 seconds to check for that. This is on the tri-trigger teleport, which would be over here. Okay, this is where it was. So if you have my gateway, the debuff, right? This guy here, or right in the corner there. It's an attribute that I put on, right? But then it has a register callback, like a tick listener, and when that time expires, it removes this watched attribute from your player, right? So while you have this on, I return. The problem is, it doesn't seem to run any of this. If I remove this and change the teleport, it does actually read this stuff here, right? Like your sighted position, like the camera swerve, right? Like I went above and beyond to try to get all this stuff done. And I think I have this set because it kept like refreshing while I was standing in the portal. You know how I could test this? I could do this. No, I can't. The way I tested this before is I manually edited the gateway dictionary, like the global dictionary I create, to offset the position to where I would not teleport back into the portal, because it starts to lag, because it like tries to teleport you back and forth. So I need that debuff. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to work. See, like I kept my west facing orientation there. Kept it. I think if I also made it to where it like if I take something offline, it removes it from the global gateway availability list. Yeah. Yeah, you need to make sure you set the yaw on the server, since we'll send it to the client. I thought I did, right? Because like this should be. If I save this, do this. I do a sided position for like the head yaw. Player body yaw, I didn't see anything for like a sided position there, but this should be running on both. I made sure to do just regular position, even though, because I don't think like sided position dot. Oh, there's just yaw. Okay. Oh, but that's the same thing. I just split it out here, right? So sighted position should hit both of those yaws, right? So I could just put that back, right? Because that basically does the same thing. So this runs on both the server and the client. I think at this point it doesn't because of... Oh, here we go. Trigger teleport. Let's go through. Oops. So I got server and client here. So it's running on both. It's running on both right now. I mean, like in here? Let me see what it's doing in here. 10 seconds for gateway exhaustion to go away. I gotta come up with a better name for that. And I heard something. Mutant Macaroni, thank you for the follow. All right, teleport. My time is running short. So there it is. Oh, I hate when the windows do this. There's the client and server, so it's getting into there. So I should be changing the position. And what I'm doing is I'm actually I record the north, south, east, or west. So this is how I did that. This is the gateway block. This anchors everything together, and this has positional information, right? So this one is south. And that's how I get it to orient to so this like faces you, and that's how it builds the portal when it's complete. So what I do is I have a global dictionary that runs, which has the block positions of the gateway, and it has gateway specific information that I save to the world data, right? So as one of these come online, they register to it. When one of these get broken, like if I were to break the side or take out the gateway key or anything, it removes it from, you know, everyone's portal, right? It deregisters. So I take that north, south, east, west, and I calculate it out, you know, the yaws to where, like, if I were to just run a command to set my yaw, it would face me north, south, east, or west, right? And then I'm looking to see what that block, the last code block of like the far facing, you know, where you're teleporting to, which is, yeah, getting the inside position for the... Oh, I'm actually, the portals are the same way. I'm actually doing it for the portal because that's how I face this in your direction. So, like, I mean, ideally it should be working, right? Like this should have like did my yaw positioning, but it does not, right? Because then really I just go into here, I get the gateway position, I make sure to see if there's like a cost, if you have the appropriate amount to use the portal, and then if you do, you know, and I look to see what essence generators connected. If you do have enough, then it goes into this, which at this point, server side, teleport player, and it teleports you to, you know, whatever your position is. Is that the problem? Should it not be server side? But this is how I've seen teleporting done. I wonder you run teleporting on the server, right? That's a server side thing. And then the server tells the client the position. Like, you wouldn't run this on both. I assume you would not run this on both. So I honestly, like, I have no idea why it's doing this. No idea. Yeah, you only need to update that on the server. See, it's almost like what happens is, like, I set my position, and then it goes into, like, teleporting, and it's not... it's not setting it. You know what I mean? Like, I would expect, possibly... mean, I would expect something about y'all being in here, right? It's like taking a snapshot, and like I just don't know why it's not preserved. And again, this is a little thing, right? This is, I want you to feel like you're walking out of the portal kind of thing, you know, instead of like, oh, this is the position of this, right? Like you need to be like, you know, facing this way, and then you walk out, right? Like you're coming out of your portal. All right, I gotta find someone to raid. But yeah, it's confused me, Dilly. It is confused me quite a bit. All right, let's find someone to raid. Where are my windows? There we go. All right. I was looking for someone playing Vintage Story.
Control N.
Didn't mean to click that.
Wait, did I hit that?
All right, who do we got? We got a couple people. Looks like everyone had some choices. Making a kingdom of dung, not pee. Sorry, buddy. I can't be on board with that. Hardcore Vintage Story Attempt 5 permadeath games. That could be fun to watch. Pushing Steel. You know what? This guy looks like he's using the magic mod. Let's do that. Permadeath attempt number 5. The poor soul unlocked magic. He's screwed. He's screwed. Yeah, no worries. I'm not 100% sure why right now. Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, I bashed my head against it, and I'm like, look, I'm spending like an hour, 2 hours on this. I have so many other things that I want to put in. I'm just going to comment it out for now and maybe come back when I have time. Again, it's a little quality of life thing that would just help a lot. Juno, thanks for the stream. Insightful as always. Thank you very much. Thank you. We are going to be raiding this person / raid. Weird. Why'd it copy more than... Hold on. It copied more than it should have. Permadeath games. There we go. Yeah, really, Dilly, the big thing is, like I said, that whole, like, re-rendering things, it kind of sucks, man. Like, it's... Because, like, I want to make, like, all these armors and stuff, but now it's like I got to make sure that there's, like, a cap, you know, to the amount of shapes and detail that I could put into armor. Oh, I'm like, what the hell is a polar bear doing here? Yeah, I spawned him. I remember. Look how vicious that is. What a jerk. You know what? You are lucky that I have to leave now and be an adult. You are beyond lucky there, Mr. Bear. Just so you know. All right, let's do the raid. Let's do it. Exclamation raid. I'm actually going to copy my raid message. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Made some good progress. Like I said, in the Discord, in the Rustbound Alpha, for my Discord in that channel, I have version 15 of the Alpha. It adds a bunch of the stuff you see here. Gateways and whatnot. Test it out. Tell me what's wrong with it. You know, a lot of this stuff is going to be made better with feedback. Definitely made better, because I can't Q&A every aspect of this. I have a poll running right now in that channel about length of the buffs. Definitely vote on that. Whatever wins, that's going to be what the static amount for the duration is going to be for buffs in general. The fly spell and other things are going to still be kind of limited. They're not going to be 30-minute buffs, but you know, it affects vanilla players as well. Yeah, that re-rendering thing. It's not just my armor. It's just anything that, you know, you put something in the bag and it just re-renders everything unnecessarily. Yeah, it's a thing. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Hit me up on Discord. I'll be free in a couple hours, and talk to y'all later. Bye.